I'm back. I got a new Sherlock Holmes game, The Awakened. It is marked for mature content, so content warning, blah blah blah. I played Sherlock Holmes Chapter One, and I really enjoyed it, but also there were some parts that I really hated. I hated the combat. So hopefully there's either no combat or it's better or it's just minimal because I hated it. But I love these games. The Sherlock Holmes games in general and like these types of games, the mysteries and the trying to solve the crimes and whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna start the game and we'll see how it goes.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Real quick, let me see something. Just gonna close some stuff and hope that we don't experience more lag. Okay. So The Awakened looks like it follows directly after Sherlock Holmes Chapter One, and it has some, like Cthulhu elements as far as I understand it. So I'm excited about that. I played what was that game called? I didn't ever play it on stream or record it or anything. There was a game that's similar, like a detective type game that was like very Cthulhu-esque, and my brain is not remembering what that stupid game was called. Quick. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Where is let's see. Call of Cthulhu, of course, because it has Cthulhu in the name. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I'm thinking of. That was a very interesting game and weird and slightly scary, but like not a horror game. I don't know. It's very interesting. Okay. Talk to Watson. Got it. Investigate. Looks like this works the same as in chapter one. London Advertiser, September 28th, 1882. Tensions between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during a recent visit to London by Swedish Princess Ildur. Chief among the scandals was the embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps as a result of the unexplained disappearance of Princess Ildur's personal bodyguard. The longtime member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty and never returned from his late night promenade. A spokesman for the police assured assures the advertiser that they are confident the bodyguard will be located as he is a striking representative of the Scandinavian people. A man like that gets noticed, whether by his peers at the gentlemen's clubs or the fair nightingales who comfort them. Oh, so he's hot.
Local
That's what
gossip,
I heard.
all of it uninteresting. Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming. I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Absolutely.
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
Outfit changes. Let's not forget that. Watson brought in the morning's post, but the Strand is missing. He disposed of it before entering the building because the pages were spoiled. Still a chance we can find it. Okay. Among our morning deliveries is a book for Watson. It was from Mr. Barnes, the bookseller, who prefers to do deliveries himself. Attached to the book was the address of his store, just around the corner. Let's look at our clothes. Right. That's it, right there. Wind coat. That sweet, sweet coat. Gotta explain.
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here! Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Any breaking news today?
The dog accident. It's the talk of the town.
Yes. Besides the tripe on the front page, anything about burglaries?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive, hence the appeal of disguises. Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears, if you have more shillings.
Sounds fine.
Get the strand. Get your copy.
My copy of the strand was in the bin with a cactus vine assassination tool if dose. It's about time. Sorry, I just got a text message. Watson brought in the morning's post. Okay, right. So now this has been updated. It is in the bin. Book from Barnes, cactus vine. Well, if it has potting soil on it, then it's probably. They changed so this is different than the previous game. No, no. Okay. Mr. Barnes is involved in the scheme. The newsboy said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books. Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, told Dr. Watson, the cactus vine for assassination. Loud bang. That already, but I don't really understand Mind Palace yet. I liked it in the previous game, but I don't know what was going on. I don't know what I did wrong the first time.
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand here. Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand here.
Hey. That's it gave me the notification too. 2 bucks for the price of one. Hell yeah. To unpin this.
Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
Check him out. He also look taller or stronger, presumably to deter future violence. Mr. Barnes leaned threateningly. I'm gonna say
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it to pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to... So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
bookshop. That seems like a bit of an assumption. Exotic plants catalog. Everlasting plants for an everlasting. Cactus could be an exotic plant.
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. The finest view London has to offer.
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back.
Alright, let's see what I got. We already figured out that that was him. That's our portrait. Several books about cryptology on Barnes's counter. The books are worn and not for sale. He has frequently consulted them and left invitations. There's a bouquet of right. Okay, so we're gonna go talk to the lady across the street. Looks like. Why is Barnes acting so strangely?
The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Oh, so maybe that's why I heard a slide. Now.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
Familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin?
Pretty innocent. The first case usually is.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them. Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Now. Cat. Fleming wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Fabric that is not suitable. And she must have been right. Her eyes constantly dart around the streets. Perhaps she was waiting. While Mrs. Fleming cherishes Fleming used to make it. Wash tries to bury her grief by dressing extravagantly. She's always. I'll pick up the first one.
Mrs. Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
By yourself.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Get it there. I didn't know you could get tetanus.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Already did.
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Oh, that booty. I don't understand unpin things. I can't like unplug it. I guess because it's already proven right. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't know. They changed it. I don't know that I like this. Barnes loves Mrs. Fleming. Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Mrs. Florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him watering advice, or it could simply be a simple desperation. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalog on his keyboard. Questionable choice, but for Barnes, a symbol of his eternal love, since the catalog presents these cacti as immortal. Haley, this is the same cactus he dropped on the strand outside of Okay, I think that my character portrait of Barnes is wrong, but I don't think you can change that, so it's just gonna be wrong.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things.
Feel that.
Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and.
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
The Strand, September 28th, 1882. Saltpeter explosion rocks docks. Locals at the Port of London had a rude awakening last night, with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva, had docked at Pier N3 in the early evening and en route to Europe when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The Port Authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into the river, but with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson.
Exactly the thing
Let us
kids
put this
told
matter
on the
behind
front
us.
page, and it's
Farewell,
like,
Mr.
no,
Barnes. I
it's
hope
not
to
what I
hear
wanna
good
know.
news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But
It's brilliant. Let's go.
oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Ooh. Trust you, but technically, what the Yes, all
Not much further now.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, You can't blame those who answer.
Yeah.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Why would anyone want more than that? Oh my gosh, never.
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. A small navy spyglass. Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. No air coming through it. Button chops. The remains of a meal. A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold.
Okay, so there's 2 items related. There are conversations. Stuff from.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh. This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
No. Away.
Looks like a knee print. Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
Do you happen to know Kimahir's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest. But I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
Has Kimahir ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
I don't know why one has to
I
be
found chewing
the other
tobacco in
at
the
all.
garden.
I controlled Kimihia's expenses since he struggled with the currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimihia and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden. Where on earth are you going with this? Are you joking? Why would I know this?
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimihia's?
Yes. I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting.
Walking around naked.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimihia's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it.
Yep. That's a whole ass fucking face.
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney.
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed? You think you know someone?
Why are you still here?
Excuse me, just one question.
I wish I could help, but I know nothing.
All right. Next, I have to have the right thing selected.
Do you know anything about this?
I wish I could help, but I know nothing.
Reconstruct. That was like 5.
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
We learned something new. Okay. Cosmetic stuff. Ooh, I like that. It shows you which ones are wrong. The previous chapter 1 doesn't do that. This one I
Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense.
Talk about how. I lost my train of thought. I do like that better now that I should.
You'd best have found something by now, gentlemen.
I fear that someone may have spied upon Kimahir. Likely the owner of the spyglass I found earlier. It appears they were watching for some time, as there was an impressive amount of chewing tobacco on the ground.
And your point?
I found the residue of narcotics in Kimahir's brazier. There are several explanations, perhaps your servant's recreational interest, or an attempt at poisoning.
Cut to the chase, Mr. Holmes.
You said that you checked the shack earlier. Did you notice the cart tracks near it? Now, one ought to expect a servant to make regular use of such a thing. Indeed, I would have overlooked the detail were it not for the cart's absence. If, as you say, Kimahir never leaves your estate, then where did it go?
I expect answers from you, Mr. Holmes, not questions.
Dan.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer, Captain. Kimahir was abducted by the owner of the spyglass. When your servant fell asleep, he slipped a narcotic into Kimahir's brazier to make him sleep even more soundly. In order to carry a man as large as Kimahir, the intruder stole the cart and rolled him right out of your garden.
Now, hold on. All this simply to tell me what I already know. Why haven't you found him yet?
I only arrived a moment ago. It is, frankly, incredible that I have already deduced so much.
Every second you dawdle here, waiting for me to stroke your ego, is another second wasted. I'm not interested in the how, the why, or the who. I am only interested in recovering my investment. Spare me the claptrap, boy, and go and fetch my servant.
Captain, you are so addled by delusions of competency that you miss the blindingly obvious. Without the assistance of others, you are utterly incapable. Kimahir endured your nonsense far longer than I will.
The point is, Captain, we're telling you this for a reason. The intruder fled through the garden door, and we need a key to follow his trail.
Well, then you should have led with that. Here you go. I hope you'll return soon with good news. And in the meantime, please teach your companion the art of brevity.
Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors to create a bosun's chair. Wheels picked up grass along the way. Kimahia's cart, I gather. Roy Soulsby. Could that be the name of our man? A strange substance. I have my suspicions based on the color and consistency, but would you care to hazard a guess, Doctor?
Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter.
Then we're in agreement. Well done.
Notable features of the abductor. Spyglass and the footprints. I'll add up to one calling card, and then that's not even a combined. All of the Oh, it's the newspaper. I don't know why. I guess because it hasn't been so far, my brain's like, no, that's not gonna be it. His trail leads to the port of London. We now know that Kimahia's kidnapper is most likely a sailor, that his wallet bears saltpeter residue, and that there was a recent saltpeter accident in the port of London. Everything suggests that to find Kimahia, we must head to the port of London. There is no time to lose. It is vital that we find a cab to the port immediately.
The Strand proved not so useless after all. The saltpeter accident. Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of
What does
London,
it say?
of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there. What does it say? No seams or torn fabric on this doll. Likely one-legged by design.
Welcome to the hunt. Hey-ho, street pigeons and roof ravens, and the treasure hunt is upon you. I don't think I've ever finished that the previous game. Clue in hands.
A treasure hunt. Used to do lots of those in my childhood for myself and...
Is it a call for help? A bad joke?
or both. Better not risk leaving this matter ignored, don't you think? Where to go? The Port of London,
not a
please.
completionist.
I will show you where to stop.
Really midnight.
Mr. Holmes, what a compelling mystery we have stumbled upon. Perhaps I have the premise of my next novel.
Huh. One kidnapping does not a story make.
Stop! A black cat crossed before us. It's a bad omen.
I did not take you for the superstitious type, Doctor. Such things are mere fantasies, tricks of a feeble mind. One imagines a physician would keep a surer footing in reality.
Perhaps, before the war, my time abroad was difficult. Once, I came across an Afghan, bleeding, who I could not save. He pressed a rosary into my hand. A gift, he said, so as to gain God's favor. After that...
Dr. Watson?
Yes, well, I shan't get into details, but sometime later I found myself lost in the desert. Dehydration set in, and things grew ever more dire. The man's words came to me. I said a prayer and placed the rosary on a rock. A gift to gain God's favor.
And you were rescued.
Yes. A detachment of British soldiers found me.
To whom I'm grateful. Without their diligence, you would not be standing here and I would not have this case.
I'm sure you have another explanation prepared, Mr. Holmes, but I think I shall cling to the occasional superstition all the same.
To each his own, Dr. Watson. So long as it does not interfere with my methods, do it. We must press on, cat or no cat. The question remains, why abduct Kimahir?
Hello, sailor. Cats, though. Weird, just like glitching through the screen. Sorry, I got distracted.
Could you help me?
I think I can help you.
May I ask for your assistance?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
Oh, hardly a reputable establishment.
I've seen worse.
Try and pass some of the panic. Help! Karavesh missing for a week. Please tell if you see him. Ask Daya and Portia to tell. Massachusetts are still available.
Greetings, miss. I'm hoping you can help us.
We shall soon see.
I heard tell of a recent explosion in the port. What do you know of it?
Ah, yes. Something exploded in a ship's cargo hold. Caused a terrible blaze. The sky was red with smoke till morning.
Where precisely did it occur?
The ship sank near the third pier, next to the dockyard.
My colleague and I are seeking a burly man, above average height, with workman's boots.
Half my customers, then. Your description hardly narrows things down.
Barmaid is in the early stages of pregnancy. It's the slightly distended belly nutrition, however, breast hiding she clearly has yet to know. Usual clues.
Miss, what if I told you that you are in the family way?
No, really? Oh, thank you, sir. How would I, a simple woman, have ever known without your help? You must be a doctor.
In a manner of speaking.
He's not. He merely has the ego of one. I apologize, miss. Mr. Holmes is fond of his observations, but I am the doctor here, not him. Do you need any help?
I'm fine, thank you. I would rather not discuss my condition, nor let word of it spread.
What do you know about this poster?
A foreign woman asked to put it up. She's plastered them all over the port.
Any clues as to her whereabouts?
None. It was hard to understand what she was saying.
Are you familiar with a Roy Soulsby?
Roy Soulsby? I know the name, but he's not one of my regulars. My guess is that he works somewhere around here.
Are you able to help me?
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything.
Excuse me, just one question.
No, sorry, I know nothing.
It appears that the saltpeter explosion rattled the locals. Can't blame them for staying home.
Yes?
The coffin won't go away and the doctor's too pricey.
Are you able to help me?
I wish I could be of help, but I can't. Sorry.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I can't help you with this. The coffin won't go away and the doctor's too pricey.
Hello, lad. Is this where I may find Dea?
You read the poster? Yes? You know where my brother Girves is?
Sadly, no. Well, not yet. I want to speak to Dea. Is she around?
Amma, my mother. She got sick after the fire. Big red smoke. She couldn't breathe, so I took her to the doctor. Now I am in charge.
Where did you last see Girves?
He worked at warehouse. This man, Roy Solby, gave him the job. He paid him a necklace.
Do you still have the necklace that Solsby gave to Girves?
Girves left it near the shrine. I tried to sell it to buy medicine, but no one wanted to buy.
How would you describe this Solsby?
He was big and strong. He had a big scary eye.
Scary, you say?
Yes, like it was made of metal.
Don't go anywhere. This cheap pendant looks like silver, but it's only made of tin. No surprise the boy couldn't sell it.
I miss Girves. Do you think he's okay?
It's a large harbour. If our kidnapper is hiding here, finding him won't be easy.
Excuse me, just one question.
I wish I could be of help, but I can't. Sorry.
The coffin won't go away. The doctor's too pricey.
Nylon. Oh.
Ma Dalton swears she saw ghosts in Warehouse 2. The coppers even went over there. Must be serious.
May I ask for your assistance?
I think I can help you.
Ah. We have gone to watch the ship that exploded yesterday.
May I ask you something?
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Do you know anything about this?
I don't think anyone here knows the answer. You should ask someone else.
Ma Dalton swears she saw ghosts in Warehouse 2. The coppers even went over there.
May I ask you something?
As much as I'd like to help you, I know nothing about this.
Not in the mood, mate. Shoo!
Pardon me, sir. I am looking for Roy...
Not again. Yes, I'm Roy. But I can't help you find your uncle or whoever you've lost.
Now, what makes you think I would inquire about missing people?
You are the fourth person to ask this week. Just because I work at the port doesn't mean I keep track of everyone who comes here.
May I ask what you're doing here?
This is where the ship sank the other day. I'm trying to work out how we'll remove it.
You say we are not the first to ask you about a disappearance. Do you recall anything about those who came inquiring?
I only remember the foreign woman. I didn't catch her name, but those are her posters hanging up everywhere. She has badgered me twice now, but I still don't know nothing.
And this woman can be found?
No clue. She was talking gibberish.
Now, where was I?
Officer or a thief. Let's see. He's of English blood, around 5'5" and has an average build. Nice. That is also not seem he is abducted. His left palm bears several letters written L-H-N S. Well, it's a brand new Walter Wilson watching his pocket. A corrupt custom officer. Or see, that's the same. Same except for last line. It has something to do with the missing. Could be stealing their dates. People seem like they're rich. Wallet was found over there and it had salt in it. He has to help clear away the accident. Probably is corrupt.
Have you seen this before?
My card? Where did you dig that up?
At a crime scene near Baker Street involving a young servant's kidnapping, I might add.
No. Someone used it without my consent. How else would it end up there? Sorry, doesn't ring a bell. What are you on about? Sorry, doesn't ring a bell.
I have been told that you hired Dea's son, Girves, right before he vanished. His brother also said you had a metal eye. What do you make of this?
Tell that him to stop making things up.
Quite possible. Too late. We've gone too far.
I should have helped Amma put out the posters. If she hadn't been in the smoke so long, maybe she wouldn't be sick.
Oh, maybe I have to find this altar.
Coffee won't go away.
Get a doctor. Man is very sick here.
It sounds as though those people will need my help.
Oh no! Converging, everything's happening.
Do you know anything about this?
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything.
Me on this map. I liked the map from the last game.
Hello, this is Dr. Watson. We'll take a look at your friend. Freshly dug up treasures, it seems.
Everything ends up in a river. It's a good thing
The
these
water has a
people take some
curious whitish tinge to it. The subject is hyperventilating. He has a pale face and dilated pupils. Dilated pupils, decolorized skin, necrosis. What do you make of this, Doctor?
All signs point towards acute poisoning. It could possibly be due to chemicals. I won't jump to any conclusions yet.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Sorry, sir. I can't help you.
How can I help? I could try and flag someone down.
doctor's too pricey.
Pile of rotten food. It carries danger, but not of the kind that we witnessed. Gruesome. It's been decomposing for weeks. If this were the origin of the disease, it would have started sooner than a few days ago. The waterway goes under the buildings. We'll need to find other open sections in order to continue our search. This pipe disposes of wastewater from a factory, a possible culprit, but would likely have caused trouble a long time ago. Moving on. Human waste. Despite looking fairly hazardous, I doubt it could cause such acute poisoning. I can't see any other major source of contamination in this section of the waterway. Perhaps another place. A recent cart crash. Phenol, a dangerous substance often used as a sanitizer, coming from Spade Chemicals.
Employee Brian, never load this trolley with more than half the weight of Danny Nutcracker. What? Or 200 pounds at a time. She did the Mexican flamingo with Joshua, and the poor thing is not running well since. The trolley, that is. Joshua broke long ago. Also, the ship from Barbados asked for 1 ton of phenol, so let's hurry up. Ivy speaking.
The fish's scales have decolorized. What a disaster.
If we stay out much longer, I'm going to need some supper. Do you feel like a meat pie?
barrels of phenol from your company ended up in the canal. It has poisoned people. You will need to clean it up properly. Otherwise, we will inform the authorities.
What the... We will call the cleaning brigade immediately. I hope this can stay between us.
If we stay out much longer, I'm going to need some supper. Do you feel like a meat pie?
Gentlemen, the doctor here and I have found the source of the contamination. Spade Chemicals will take care of it.
That's pretty good news. But how long will it take? And what about our friend? Will someone pay for his treatment?
Pressurize the company. But for now, get rid of the stained clothes and rinse any phenol-affected skin. No one else should touch the canal today.
Thank you. We'll do that. Let's go to the chief doctor for help.
Ooh, wardrobe items. What did we unlock? White suits. Guarantees to get dirty. Why I don't wear white. Also because it washes me out because I'm pale already. The plague doctor. Oh, sweet. Okay, let's see. A boy of around 10 years of age resides in one of the port shanties. He looks to be from the cause, both exhausted and malnourished. His mother, Dea, is at the local clinic due to her falling sick from the incident. The boy says that his brother Ramesh disappeared after Roy Soulsby, a strong man with a metallic eye, hired him. Someone's impersonating Roy Soulsby. He also mentions that Giravesh left a pendant. Okay. Ready to make any items. So let's see. Cause of the mudlark's poisoning was phenol by Spade Chemicals. It appears their negligence and greed led to the incident. Since the company's duty to remedy the situation, Spade represented assured us they would make things right. Unfortunately, the company's statement failed to reassure the affected mudlarks as it would. Watson has recommended they dispose of the okay, so this, so we have found, go back to, and tell us where to find the doctor.
Have you ever heard of a man with a metallic eye?
I've seen him even. Dirty Summers is the name. A nasty lout, with a silver ball in place of a missing eye.
I shudder to ask, but where does one find a Dirty Summers?
He likely signed on with a ship. I am not one to spy on others, let alone him.
I see.
My advice, Keep away from him.
Already did know that, but also. So. On the front this time. That honest apply for details. Scott Gibraltar is also.
Our daughter swears she saw a ghost in the house too. Must be serious. Do you know anything about this? Sorry, sir. I can't help you.
And I don't need to change my costume. You don't need to change your costume. They're like, oh, I would never trust you. Or whatever. Give you some occasion. Can I interact? It's more over by where the bar is. I guess. Thought it meant where the
Good evening, Constable. I heard some people talking of ghosts in this warehouse.
Gossips, all of them.
That's where
An old lady neighbour saw some lights and ghostly shapes in the middle of the night. She heard music too. Turns out this was the warehouse of Grandpa Kujak. He owned a business with theatre props for scary shows. I went in and... well, it is a bit creepy. But I think it was probably just some kids fooling around.
Do you mind if I take a look inside?
Not at all. It's like Madame Tussauds, only worse. I'll be on the beat round the pub for the rest of the night. Damned explosion. Good night, sir.
You know what? Let's go in. Fuck it.
An effective contraption. It still works. There was a box in the coffin. It was removed quite recently. They opened the casket and left marks. A herbal odor with an acylic base. Liquor?
That's what was in there.
Who is this intended to scare? Phosphorus, used recently. Where is this going? Somebody had fun. Several crates are missing. Bottles of various shapes and sizes. I detect a mix of chemicals and aromas. No brand or markings. It looks like a bulk product. A small cart left those tracks. Inspired by the legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's most likely the ghost the old lady saw through the window.
Right.
Somebody played with phosphorus to give the illusion of ghosts or ectoplasm. In reality, they were here to mix a few ingredients and prepare a solution of some sort. Then they took a box hidden inside the casket. And they left through that gate with a small cart. Dr. Tippett's electric pectobrain. Patent medicine of the future.
This is a patent medicine. A quick fix at an expensive price that drags the patient slowly into death.
Electric pecto brain patent medicine of the future. A unique formula that helps with vertigo, weakness, coughing, toothache, lung pain, and asthma. Strength and happiness for all patients for a fraction of the price of other patent medicines. Results guaranteed. Only natural ingredients.
May I ask for your assistance?
I think I can help you.
Where are we? The field hospital?
Yeah, I finally figured out where it's going. Yeah. Side missions. Baby face. He's young. Is too young to complete a medical university. Harvard Lake is stayed by consequence, most likely for the problems of capital. Or they have good intentions.
Good evening, sir. Are you the gentleman who sells that intriguing pecto-brain beverage?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Dr. Thomas Tippett, and yes, its proud inventor and purveyor.
Are you a doctor? You seem remarkably young.
I'm self-educated. I help people in need around these parts with my medicine.
Helping, as in bringing to the grave?
That is unfair, sir. The virtues of my invention are to calm the nerves, to stop coughing due to the endless smog, and to help children to sleep.
Has your beverage been tested by your peers or any medical authority? I am a doctor, and it appears that you are playing with people's lives, people who place their trust in you to ease their pain.
People need help, and drugs are expensive. My formula helps, and it's inexpensive. The product is dispensed from here only, so dose and usage are controlled. I looked into other patented medicines. They contain harmful or useless substrate, and they're sold in respected shops and pharmacies.
Do you realize what you are doing? You are playing with people's health.
You are a doctor. Take a look at my product. You won't find mercury, radium, lithium, or any other toxic substances drowned in alcohol and sold freely by so-called health professionals. I can show you how I work. Let me help people.
Watson, what do you make of this situation?
I'm not sure. Patent medicines can be a scourge, yes, but he is not entirely wrong in practice.
Why the haunted warehouse?
Well, nobody was using it, and people are afraid of ghosts. It kept them away until today. What I do is not entirely legal, but I do help people.
The owner of the warehouse had a business with feeder crops that found around the personal crib. Club after the search, his own. To the port's inhabitants, he seems to be on his own mission to help those about helping. He's like, I mean, didn't it say it was killing them over time? I don't know. Is helping them for now? I guess they're all gonna die early anyway. It's not like this is a You know what? I'm gonna postpone making a decision about that and go back to the original.
I help up to 50 people here every day. It is working.
What can I get you?
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
Excuse me, just one question.
It's a shame I can't answer your question.
Ask
What are you gawping at?
Mr. Soulsby, you know more than you're letting on.
What makes you say that?
A man named Dirty Summers was involved in some recent kidnappings across London. He used your name as a cover for his deeds.
What? Really? That doesn't mean I'm involved, though. Boulder Dash. Sorry, you lost me there.
Mr. Soulsby, you know more than you're letting on.
What makes you say that?
A man named Dirty Summers was involved in some recent kidnappings across London. He used your name as a cover for his deeds.
What? Really? That doesn't mean I'm involved, though. Boulder Dash. Sorry, you lost me there.
Mr. A man named Dirty Summers was involved in...
What? Boulder Dash. Sorry, you...
What's that one from?
Mr.
Crime.
And how do I fit in all this? Sorry.
Mr. Soulsby...
Okay.
A man named Dirty...
What?
Your calling card was found at the crime scene. That's enough to make you a suspect.
You cannot be serious. This proves nothing. Sorry.
Mr. Soulsby... A man named...
What?
You're calling...
This proves...
Mr. A man...
What?
You're calling... It's true. And that's before mentioning your gold watch. It's brand new and awfully expensive for a customs officer. Clearly you have found yourself another source of income. I'm sure Scotland Yard will be delighted to investigate further.
All right, stop. Look, it's not as it seems. I did not partake in the kidnappings.
I'm all ears, Mr. Soulsby.
Yes, I know Summers. He paid me to turn a blind eye to his business in the warehouse area. Just that. On my word.
You did not tell me which warehouse he used?
I do not recall, but I used red paint to mark unsupervised warehouses. Ought to be one of them.
What else can you say of Summers?
He is a regular at the Cursed Mermaid. Goes there with his crew almost every evening.
What for?
I don't know. I assumed just for a drink.
Okay.
do I have the feeling that you know more about Dirty Summers than you're
Your
letting
baby
on?
daddy?
I have nothing more to add, sir.
Enough. I have hard evidence that Summers was involved in recent kidnappings across London.
I'm not surprised. So what?
A customs officer, Roy Soulsby, testified that Summers was a regular here. You must know something about his business.
All I know is his drinks order.
If the lives of the missing do not concern you, then I would urge you to think about your unborn child.
Are you threatening me?
Nothing of the sort, but that doesn't mean that there won't be consequences for your silence. Everyone knows you happily served Summers and his crew. Should the police come knocking, you'll be the one going away. And none of us wish to see you raise a child behind bars. Now, spare yourself the trouble and tell me all you know.
Okay. Summers hired my private room. I think he used it to recruit people, but I haven't seen him in a few days. He paid me cash, so I paid him no attention. Nor did I touch anything inside. Here's the key, go and do what you will. Just leave me out of it.
Walk in.
The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. £5. That won't go far.
Invoice for sailcloth, the Parker and Williams Company, Manchester. Invoice number 012B. Date 20th of September 1882. Sold to Oscar Summers. Cargo high quality sailcloth packed in wooden crates. Quantity 50 crates.
Strange symbols. I don't recognize them.
Crates in the warehouse area. Dirty Summers Okay, so we've got some more stuff. Way, Watson.
Doesn't look like anything to me. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
What did you see of Summers' work here? He was recruiting people.
It was like the whole world came through my door. People of all creeds and colours, but always strong, always tall. They seemed like workers or journeymen. Beyond that, there's not much more to tell. I took his money and let him be.
And this lasted how long?
Several weeks, I wager.
I've already been to twice. Yet.
Yeah.
That boat explosion stopped most traffic coming into the...
Really, Holmes, this ought to be beneath you.
As my brother would say, it is for the greater good. Good quality, but torn in many spots. Mold. That's why you don't leave sailcloth lying out. This crank saw some use. The layers of rust will prevent any movement. Well oiled and well maintained. Fit for a crank. It's stuck. No one's used it in a very long time. passage, just as I expected. Wait here, Watson, and keep an eye on the doors. I'll scout the premises.
Will do. Be careful down there.
I don't remember how it works, and I remember I hated it.
Wait, what's happening? What is this place? Where am I? Strangely cold. Something is missing. This cannot have been under the port of London all along. Is it an illusion? Only way forward is the abyss. Phew, I didn't die. It is icy cold and pulsating. My heart, be calm. Now I am somewhere else. How? It's harder to breathe here. What is that? It's like it stares right through me. Revolting.
Points is had the little like stringy spider silk pieces. had this problem with chapter 1. Maybe I'm just not smart. But
Head is already spinning. When will this end?
problem solved.
On my head. What just happened? It's rather frustrating. There are 2 recesses.
Right.
What kind of trickery is this?
strange stone. It almost feels alive.
Progress.
One down, one to go. Don't mind me. It's just hard to see. Got a slow walk. Will not tolerate Oh, that is truly revolting. Frozen and pulsing almost like it has a heart. Did I get out? John?
What is it, Holmes?
Play as what? As Watson?
Watson?
Holmes, where are you? Holmes, are you all right?
Fine. Watson, I'm fine, thank you for asking.
Fine? By Jove, you should have heard the way you called out my name.
It was just a game of shadows.
I'm glad. This place gives me the chills. What are we dealing with?
Something that's finally interesting. Did you hear that, Watson?
I hear you.
His abdomen is severely bloated. Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled. At least 24 pendants, all identical and made of tin. An American passport. Amos Colby. Someone got their hands dirty painting this with blood.
Passport. Given name Amos. Surname Colby. Hair color red. Eye color pale. Date and place of birth April 20th, 1852. Boston, Massachusetts. Date of entry into country September 22nd, 1882. 30 years old. Back of the passport features a bloody drawing and vaguely depicts a sea creature. Perhaps an octopus. Advertisement flyer. Northwood Agency. Any manner of discreet investigations. For you, we shall search the world. 154 Pennsylvania Lane, Boston, Massachusetts.
I've never seen a pattern like this before. Old blood stains. It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a better set. This box contained a narcotic substance, much like the one in Kimihia's brazier. Black Edelweiss Institute, established 17-something. A small bloodstain, but not serious. Deep scratches left in a frenzy. The strength it would take to carry this crate, let alone break it. Oh, potent. This sensor has more narcotic residues. Miserable food, mass-produced. I must have seen this one before. That explains my hallucinations. These clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed.
Stumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal. Gathered from dozens of people, at the very least. Who are these people?
I'm gonna guess the developers.
What on earth? It looks like the scribbling of madmen. Someone used mud to draw a cross in a rectangle. Why? These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style. Fine rope work, cut by a finer blade.
Hannibal mustache. I don't know if that's supposed to be. Whatever, let's see what we got wrong.
Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar.
What the hell is happening, Holmes?
Calm yourself.
Ew!
Cannot be.
Ew!
What is it? Oh my God. Please tell me we found all we needed to, Holmes.
I think we found a bit more than that.
Yet we have no clue as to where those people have been taken.
And that's where you're wrong, Watson. We have more than enough. I just need to connect the dots. How about you pack your suitcase in the meantime, my dear fellow? Just in case.
Man on the altar was a private detective from the Northwood Agency in Boston. Where have they Black Edelweiss Institute is in Interlaken, Switzerland. Established in 1789 by Professor Calendar Institute, specializes in mental illnesses and addictions. It is currently headed by Professor Gygax. Oh, that's good.
Dr. Watson, how does a trip to Switzerland sound to you?
It sounds unexpected. What makes you think we should head there?
It's all about the box with narcotics and Mr. Colby's clue, the cross inside a rectangle. Put two and two together, add a dash of research, and what do you get? The Black Edelweiss Institute in Interlaken, Switzerland. If we hurry, we can still catch tonight's train. As grateful as I have been for your company, Dr. Watson, I'm afraid you shall have to investigate Edelweiss alone.
Alone? Mr. Holmes, I fear you overestimate my abilities.
Nonsense. You are a military man, a bastion of British courage.
I'm no such thing. As a doctor, I avoided most combat, save for one dreadful day. My troop was ambushed in a village with innocents caught in the crossfire. Too many to help.
The man with the rosary. He was one of them?
A translator, yes. We were trapped. 6 soldiers and myself. I thought it was the end. But Lieutenant Paget refused to go quietly. The men prepared for a final stand. I rose to follow, but Paget shook his head. He told me to run. That I had other men to save. They charged, and I fled through the rear. So you see, Mr. Holmes, I am a coward.
The logic seems inescapable.
Yes.
You, a surgeon by trade, would have been perfectly useless in that conflict.
What? No.
And how many men have you helped since? Ailments eased, troubles tended?
No more than a handful. Truth be told, I have become somewhat of a recluse.
How many people could you help with 30 years ahead of you? Dozens? Hundreds? Paget was correct. You can cease your self-recrimination.
Holmes, I don't know what to say.
I would start with, I am Dr. John Watson, may I look around? The Edelweiss staff will doubtless be eager to show off their facility to a fellow physician. I have already taken the liberty of sending a letter on your behalf to request a visit.
And what of you?
I shall be pursuing other avenues. Should you see anything troublesome or improper, simply notify the local authorities. Otherwise, try a little analysis yourself. You know my methods. Apply them.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I am gonna try and get back on a semi-regular schedule. We'll see how it goes. But I will be continuing to play this game, and it'll all be up on my YouTube channel, just like the Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 playthrough is. But yeah, until then, hope you have a good week.